me that it's a common millennial misconception. To which I said that the reason I can't understand what they're saying is because I'm French. But let's face it, two things can be true. So, French and Australian people disagree on a lot of things. Australians disagree on who's the best sports team, who makes the best wine,
Ethan.
pineapple on pizza.
Yeah.
French people just disagree. When we feel like we're losing the argument, we just move the goalpost a little bit further. And further, and further, and further. Just ask my husband.
I love you.
But we all have something in common. We love wine. So tonight I'm here to talk to you about my wine research. So in the course of the evening, I might be making jokes about how French wine is better than Australian wine. But I might just be open to changing my mind if you brought me with some cleverly Riesling. I've just moved to Adelaide after finishing my PhD in wine marketing. It's been a very strategic move. Oh. It's been a very strategic move for my career, my family, my wine addiction. I am so passionate about wine that every time we go on holidays, there needs to be a dedicated trip to the shops to have a look at the competition. My friends call me the wine expert, by which they mean I'm an expert at emptying wine bottles. So if you love wine as much as me, you might have had a talk or two about wine bottles. I am a little bit obsessed with them. So before I used to think, wine bottles are super cool, they're easy to recycle, and they make fantastic Christmas trees. This is starting to make me look bad. But in reality, wine bottles are actually pretty bad for the environment. This is because the 2/3 of carbon emissions from wine production come from using and transporting wine in glass bottles. And wine is one of Australia's largest exports. So if the industry doesn't adopt a more sustainable mode of packaging, it might mean that Australian wine might become less attractive in market like European market and might be exported less, which might in turn mean the industry here will suffer. And then, well, there will be less wine for you. And less wine for me. So if you think you're about to hear a 10-minute speech about the goon bag, you might be right. Because beyond looking at its aerodynamic properties, my research focuses on how can we make people like you and me feel that wine packaging in alternate things compared to glass bottles is also a good thing, and how the industry can show us that we can still drink great wine in packaging that is better for the environment. So let's start from the beginning. When I moved from Burgundy to the Hunter Valley in 2017 to come and work in the wine industry, my family thought I was having a mental breakdown. But now it's more like I'm in the witness protection program. They haven't really spoken to me since I suggested putting photo in a can. But as I said to them, bottles, like wine bottles, glass bottles, are like this really cool, super polished friend that you had in high school. but that friend left a terrible taste in your mouth. And as we say, it's what inside that counts. So when we buy a wine bottle and we're finished with it, we just put it into the recycling bin, and then we think we get a gold star. But glass is actually quite hard to recycle. It uses a lot more energy than alternate materials like paper and plastic. So while wine is super photogenic, it's basically the private jet of wine packaging. And trust me, I've done the research, which mostly consisted of explaining why I need so much funding for all of my wine tastings, which put them in the red. It's full science, I promise. So we spoke about the problems a lot. Now let's have a look at some solutions. First up, the green bag, my favorite. Lightweight, box size, keeps wine fresh for up to 6 months, or until I have to mark student papers. Another option, the can. Again, lightweight, easy to recycle over many cycles, perfect for ultimate frisbee tournament. And as someone who plays ultimate frisbee like a baby giraffe, I really need my wine to be shatterproof. Next, we have the flat PET bottle, which is basically a flat plastic bottle made of recycled plastic, which sounds about as glamorous as my New South Wales accent when I say France. But it's actually very efficient at using space, unlike round bottles, which use space about as efficiently as I use my gym membership. Finally, we have the carton, or what I like to call adult juice boxes. Lightweight, stackable, perfect when you get Tetris in the fridge. Or if you want to just pretend that, yes, this is okay for breakfast. There's a bit of a theme going on here, right? Besides the fact that I probably drink too much for my own good. But it's okay, I have an RSA. So my research identified a lot of alternatives to glass bottles. And all of those alternatives have three main advantages compared to traditional glass. Number one, materials they're made of are lightweight and can be recycled over many cycles, which reduces their carbon footprint. Number two, their shape is often more efficient than round glass bottles, so you can ship more wine in one go, and it reaches destination with a lower carbon footprint. And three, rolling the bin out after a long weekend doesn't sound nearly as embarrassing. So what's next for wine packaging? Besides the fact that I'm still trying to convince my French family that drinking wine from a goon bag isn't a cry for help. It's okay, Mom. I don't need an intervention. You can pack up the guillotine. So, as a workaholic who answers emails at midnight, studying alternative wine packaging solves one dilemma for me. The question, should I really open this wine bottle now? And the answer is yes, for research. Jokes aside, I look forward to conducting more research on how to change consumer perceptions of sustainable wine packaging. And from someone who moved from France to Australia for research in wine industry, I can tell you that those decisions may look a little bit unconventional at first. But here's the real message. We need wine positivity. We We always say, don't judge a book by its cover. Well, don't judge a wine by its container. Your Pan Rosé is living its best life. And it's more environmentally friendly than Karen's bottle of Bordeaux. So now it's my turn to go get some wine. I really hope they have some of that Flavor Riesling. It's been a pleasure to talk to you tonight.